the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs podcast. It is Friday night. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, joined, as always, by my cohort on this magic carpet ride, Producer Paul. Give him a big round of applause. Golf clap, golf clap. It's a golf clap kind of week. All right, we have had Gilmore 2. Fucking white people, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Or we won't, and that's okay too, I guess.
I immediately think of whenever I hear golf. Just like lots of white people.
Your mic turned you down. I'm sorry.
Of course it did, because my mic hates me.
I'm sorry.
Because this stupid thing keeps messing with my automatically messing with my mic. Stop that bullshit. I swear to God. I turn it off every time and it keeps turning it back on me. But welcome, everybody.
I need to come over there and give it let it know.
No. It's a sure thing, so it will work. I just have to get StreamYard to do it. But it is it feels good. It's Friday. I think we're all a little I went out, had a nice dinner with my wife before this.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we're kid free for the weekend, so I was like, we're gonna go to
What'd
Outback. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, listen, tomorrow's gonna be the big day. We're gonna go out and have a good time.
Okay.
So glad to come back and do this show. And I'm happy to do this show with you and talk movies and good old times. But
yeah,
it's part 3. I want to thank our sponsors for this past 3 parts. Shenanigans, the Gentlemen's Club in Schenectady, New York. It is #1 world class. If you guys don't know, the women are entertaining. The food is delicious. The TVs are on, and you're going to have a great time under the neon lights and watching the pole. You guys need to go check out Shenanigans. Any chance you get, it is fantastic. But if you don't get a chance to go out and you're hungry, Uber Eats, baby. That's right. Shenanigans now on Uber Eats. Thank you for sponsoring the Scene Snobs. And we're open to any other strip clubs that want to sponsor the Scene Snobs as well. Thank you. All right, everybody. All right, so we have some great guests here to finish out our bracket this week. Maybe I might have some help this time with our buddy James from Popcorn and Pints and Horror for 30 podcast. Of course, the incomparable, the wonderful, the spectacular, the legendary and iconic Sir Sturdy is here joining us as well. So we're going to bring them in just a little bit. But for our first review of the evening, James will be joining us for Happy Gilmore 2. That's right. Oh, this isn't going to work, but I don't care. I don't know where James is.
Did he leave? Oh, there he is.
All right. So we can't really keep it up because I didn't get prepared for James on this one, but I gave this movie a 2.5 out of 5, and Paul gave it a 2 out of 5. So Happy Gilmore 2. It is the tale of a long-awaited sequel following Adam Sandler's Happy, the ex-golfer who is now down in the dumps. I'm not going to tell you why, because this is a spoiler-free review. Go check it out. But this it comes around and sees him a father now of 5, 4 boys and 1 girl, and he wants to send his little girl to college the right way. So he gets back on the links and he starts playing again. But does he have what it takes? This is very much an underdog story. It was a lot of fun to watch. It's very nostalgic, and there's a lot of callbacks to the original. I did not mind the callbacks. I thought it was a little too much. If you cut them all out, you'd probably have a way shorter movie and one that doesn't really make much sense. They put in a lot of characters, in my opinion, that were trying to draw on deceased characters from the original movie. And I don't think you needed to do that. You could have done something original that sort of felt familiar in that way and nostalgic in that way, but not with a direct callback. You had some nice moments where that could have worked. There's a lot of people back in this. There's a lot of new faces that join in. Some are very good. Some are very bad. But overall, the movie is very mid. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst either. I think it's one worth checking out, especially if you like the original. But the magic is not in this one like it was in the original. Now, guys, let's talk about Happy Gilmore 2. Paul, what did you think about it?
I wanted that feel good, the nostalgia, from the first one. And I felt like I understood why they modernized it, and tried to bring in relevant influencers, yada, yada, yada. But it just didn't have that good feel of a typical Sandler movie. I feel like it was spoiled by that because I feel like the first one, Sandler did it kind of more to stand out, to go against the groove and kind of do his own thing.
Mhm.
This I feel like he had more producers being like, oh, we need to add these people so more people watch it. And keep the next generation watching it.
Your mic's breaking up a little bit, so if you just want to check your settings on that real quick. But I'm going to go to you, James, real quick. What did you think about Happy Gilmore 2?
Hold on, I'm having technical difficulties with this second.
Okay, so I'll talk about Happy Gilmore 2 just a little bit
All right,
more.
okay, I'm back. I just fixed it. All right. So I'm with you guys. I'm 2.5 out of 5. It could have been a 3. They overdid the callbacks. I started getting bored of them. But there is parts that I did laugh. Even though it was so corny, the Eminem part with the alligators, it made me chuckle.
But then again, at the same time, it's a callback. They're even calling back to it another character. And that was where I was like, you could have just had Eminem as an original character.
Yeah.
And not something that was attached to the original. And it still would have worked. I just felt like they were pulling it apart too much, where it was like I didn't need any more flashbacks to the original.
Yeah, same.
It's like I remember the movie. Like most of us probably watched it before this came out. But Paul, before you, I think your thing's working because I can hear you now. But what did you think? I want you to give a full impression of yours.
I think I didn't like how they modernized it and changed it. I feel like it spoiled it and kind of took away from the Sandler feel. Be like if they redid, Big Daddy. Like if it was Big Daddy with all those influencers and stuff in there, I'd be like, this isn't the same feel at all, because Sandler was kind of, I don't know, like almost like punk rock for comedies at the time. And I feel like this one was just like all the other comedies now that are like, let's just throw in big names in there and familiar faces, and that'll do it justice. And kind of like you said, like Eminem should have just been Eminem. You didn't have to make him tie it in. You didn't quite have to tie it all in. You could have just had them as new characters, which I think would have been better. It was funny for what it was, but as far as the sequel, I mean, it's not a sequel that's going to stand time, and it's not one that I plan on rewatching anytime soon. It might be one, 6 years from now, someone's like, let's watch Happy Gilmore 2, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'm drunk. Let's do it, I guess.
And I think one of the things that I didn't really like about what they did with some of the characters in there. So I don't want to give away any spoilers about what happens, but of course he and I think her name is Julie in the movie, from the first movie. They're married now and they have kids, right? So you have these 5 kids who are all grown up, played by grown up actors, but they act very much like Happy. And there's a reason why, and that makes sense. But I felt like doing that sort of like, why do we have to focus on this? I feel like the mother's not present in any of the kids. And like it's such an important factor in this movie and stuff, because it plays up the motherly side and things like that, because the grandmother, of course, is not here anymore, and there's a lot of actors. Carl Weathers couldn't come back and stuff. So and even that, like, they get his son to come in. Why do we need a play on Chubbs? Why can't there just be, I think it should have just been Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
I think that would have made more sense, to make just Shooter McGavin be his mentor this time. But even then, this is one of Adam Sandler's better movies in the last 10 or 15 years.
I agree with that.
I know it's not
10 or 15
objectively
years,
this is a better movie than Hubie Halloween. Which one would I watch more? Honestly, well, Happy Gilmore, the first one. But no, Hubie Halloween I would watch more than this, because I'm a Halloween and I like the horror comedy aspect of it all. So that's always going to be more alluring to me. This one just seems like there's a lot of people. There's a lot of wrestling
Becky Lynch
figures in here. Becky Lynch,
MJF.
Nikki Bella, MJF was in it, and it was cool to see them. And it's cool to see all the sports announcers and the athletes and everybody else, but
Post
they're
Malone
not
just saying the same word over and over again.
Did this movie feel like it was a rehash of Dodgeball in a way?
It kind of the story, like the underdog got to earn that money.
Yeah, like that's not a new thing, but it felt very much in the same tone as Dodgeball.
Oh yeah, same tone, because it's the same style of comedy in a way.
Yeah, and that didn't feel like Happy Gilmore is an underdog. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but it's not I don't know. Like I like there's an alcoholism aspect to this that I really enjoyed. But yeah, overall, like this, like I thought they did a good job. That added layers to Gilmore. But then like the very next scene is like there's 4 guys mooning, and it's just like I get it's supposed to be funny, but it's like forced funny.
Yeah.
So that was my impression of Happy
I did
Gilmore.
like the how like almost everything in this house was a flask or holding a bottle of liquor.
I thought that was funny in context with the drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
The cucumber, when he unscrews the cucumber and takes it, he's like, "Oh, is that cucumber juice?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever."
The fucking remote, the cuckoo clock. Like,
I had
what
to
the
instantly look
fuck?
on Etsy for that to see if that was a real thing because I kind of want one.
That's
He's
pretty
crying on
cool.
his phone, and then he opens his phone flask.
Yeah.
There's some definite genuine laugh out loud moments in this.
Yeah.
But that honestly, they all centered around Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
It seemed like Adam Sandler knew what he wanted for this, and he gives a performance in it that is well done in acting. But he's in the wrong movie. I feel like his tone matched the first one, but this movie didn't match the first one at all. So that's my feelings on it. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Paul, you gave it a 2, and I think James, you said you're around 2.5, right?
Yeah. If it wasn't so many callbacks, I would have gave it a 3 because it did make me laugh quite a bit.
Very fair, very fair. Well, we're going to move on to our next review. I want to thank you, James, for joining in for this one.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to bring you back in just a little bit. So make sure to check out the whole podcast if you're watching this as a clip. But next up, we are talking about Bambi the Reckoning. Now, Paul, before I bring up my ratings, what do you think my rating for this is?
I think you're right there with me. I think we probably matched each other on this, so it's probably about a 3 out of 3 or 4 out of 10.
I appreciate you. I think you know me well. We are definitely 3 out of 5. So that works. And I did not. A little bit of background on me, people. I have rallied against the public domain idea. That first Winnie the Pooh movie was god awful, and then they were jumping on a mini Mickey Mouse, and I watched some of those, and they were bad. Well, Screamboat, but the other Mickey Mouse ones, they were bad. I like Screamboat, though. It wasn't that good, but it was better than some of them. The second Winnie the Pooh, I felt like really switched gears and said, all right, we're going to start putting a story to this. Now they're creating the Pooh-universe. I have not seen the new Neverland Nightmare. I have to see that. I like Peter Pan. I think I was a little apprehensive because I like Peter Pan so much. My fucking money. So I was at that point for me where I was like, okay, I'm going to get into this. I don't know if I'm going to like Bambi. I love the Disney Bambi. The story is very good. I read the book years ago. It's a great environmental tale. If anybody didn't know that, like Bambi Lost a Life in the Woods is a great environmental tale. It's a great tale about growing up and hardships that go through it. And it's, it's that type of fairy tale. They were darker than Disney let on. This one takes it a little bit darker. And I will say it follows a mother and her son as they're going out to his father's, they're not together, his father's families for the weekend. And on their ride out, they get attacked by a giant mutated deer that's mutated by nefarious reasons that I'm not going to spoil by characters in this movie. And there's hunters that are searching for him. So as we go on, he attacks the taxi they're in. Now they're out running around and they catch up with the family. So it turns into this chaos sort of slasher type of vibe where Bambi, for all intents, like they never actually call it Bambi, but like Bambi for whatever, let's just call it that. I call him that, is now attacking and going after his family and killing. You never really understand why. You just assume it's mutated and angry. As you go along, you do find out the reasons. The hunters play into it more and more. It's a very good story. The mother and the son in this are fantastic. I loved watching them. I thought they did such a great job. Everybody in the cast was a lot of fun. Yes, the visual effects, they're patchy at times. The story is, I think, pretty sound. I think it works, especially within the framework of a horror movie. Not all the characters work, but they're there for, horror movie motives and reasons, and we'll give you that. And then when you get to the end, you find out the crux of what's going on and the mother-son tale and what that means. and how Bambi plays into it, because that has very much always been a mother and son. So you have this parallel that a mother and son are being chased by Bambi, and the hunters are chasing them. So it's very interesting. It keeps you on the edge of your toes. It's thrilling at times. The violence is cool for a horror movie. It's not overdone, I don't think. And I really dug the look, the vibe, and the feel of this entire movie. What did you think?
So because of all the other ones that have failed to meet expectations, I kind of went into this very apprehensive and thinking I'd be enjoying it. But within 2 minutes of starting it, I realized this was going to be a pretty decent film, and I loved it. I thought it was fun. The kill scenes were solid. Some of their kind of funny comedy type horror elements, because I don't want to give anything away. I almost pissed myself for one of the scenes just because it was so funny when anyway, I don't want to give any spoilers, you guys, but
I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
One of the scenes in particular, I had to pause it and stop and restart it just to watch it again. I think it was great. I think you guys should absolutely take a chance and go see it in theater. I think it does deserve that, at least. I think you can tell the director and everyone involved in this actually gave their all.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just, let's get Bambi and throw it in there and just put something together. Like, there was thought into this, and everyone gave 100%. And I definitely appreciated it as a viewer.
And the main mother-son combination and the hunters were the strongest actors out of them.
100%.
I really enjoyed their performances in this. And I got to give credit. Dan Allen is the director of this and knocked it out of the park. I'm really looking forward, and I'm going to pay attention to Dan Allen more, see what he puts out, because he put together a really good movie. And this is hard to be tasked with, okay, we're going to tell a horror movie about Bambi. Like, Winnie the Pooh, and the one that was such an experiment. Peter Pan, borderline horror anyway, so you can get away with it. Now, Bambi has some horrific things, but how do you make Bambi a killer in it?
Right.
And they did it, and it worked, and the reasoning worked, and there's heart to this movie that you can feel the filmmakers really put into the story, and the actors felt it as they were doing it. So I don't want to build it up too much as it's this truly amazing piece of cinema, but I'm telling you, based on what I saw, I can see this director putting out some great cinema. So that's my feelings on Bambi: The Reckoning. You have any final thoughts before we go, Paul?
Give it a chance, you guys. I get, anyone I talk to about this movie, like even around work, like Bambi: The Reckoning, I'm like, look, ignore the name. Just give it a chance. I get, well, what studio did it? Don't be that person.
Don't worry about that.
Right. Give it a chance. This one will not at least disappoint. So
agreed.
Please give it a chance, and this is them doing it right, and enjoy it and have some laughs.
I think Bambi: The Reckoning does do it a service, though. Calling it that and that familiarity, kind of like Winnie the Pooh and the Pooh, you're going to attract people. But if you're making movies like this in your Poohniverse, as they call it, you're going to gain more horror fans on your side. Keep going.
Yeah.
This was a good one, especially for the ridiculous content of it. But that's our ratings of that. If you're watching this video, go check out the full podcast because we got more. Speaking of which, Fantastic Four. I think that's close enough to the song. We review Fantastic Four First Steps. This is the fourth live action film in the Fantastic Four family being made, and it is the best by far. Now, the original Corman version is always a lot of fun for what it is, but it is a bad movie objectively. But it did give us Dr. Doom in a much more recognizable way. And then, of course, we got the follow-ups, which were the Fox, Fantastic Four films, which were fine. They were fun. They were good. I don't think they captured the essence of Fantastic Four and who they were like this movie did. Fantastic Four First Steps follows the Fantastic Four. They're already in it. They're already working. Everybody knows them, been around for a while. Of course, the story's the same. This is a very traditional movie that pays such respect to Jack Kirby, which means the world to me as a fan. I love Jack Kirby's work, and most of his work and what he created inspired me in what I do creatively. I'm a big comic book guy, for anybody who's not aware of that. I collect. I love comic books. That's what got me started in all this world of creativity and pop culture and all of those things. Superman coming out 2 weeks ago was like a mind explosion for me, because that's my Superman now. That's the best Superman movie I've ever seen. I love it, and that is Superman to a T from the comic books and from the animated series, which I loved. Now, why do I say that? Because Fantastic Four is the first step in Marvel that I think is getting to a more hopeful nature. God, I hope it is. That's what this movie is. Now, are there things? Is there dread? Is there thrills to this? Sure. But it feels hopeful. This feels like a family that's really coming together, working together well. They're already in it. And there's no like bickering. Nobody's there for, just to kind of look good or there for laughs, kind of like what Chris Evans' Human Torch was. Jessica Alba was almost there just for sex appeal. And they don't understand that Sue Storm is the strongest of the Fantastic Four and also the best diplomat. She handles most of everything when they're talking. Reed Richards, not always the greatest of guys. Pedro Pascal plays that really well. I have to say, Evan Moss, who plays the Thing, looks great, sounds great, does it perfectly. This is the Thing that I want to see interact in the Marvel Universe, and I thank God they picked him to do it. I love him on The Bear, and I think he's great in this. He's another one that keep him going. He's gonna give us great performances. Of course, oh my God, Johnny was so fantastic. I'm the actor's name is I'm missing the actor's name at the moment, but I loved him as Eddie on Stranger Things, and he pops up here and there, and he's just always been a lot of fun, and he's a fantastic actor. Vanessa Kirby deserves all the respect in the world for this movie. She is terrific, not just as Sue Storm, but as a force of nature holding this together. The whole thing, and the battle at the end, and what she does and shows her power is amazing. I love, and they brought Franklin in, Herbie's there, Galactus in his true form, and I love it. We had the Silver Surfer, which was one of my favorites reading as a kid. I didn't Shala Ball, I didn't really read, but I love the Silver Surfer concept. The whole movie pays really good homage. This is the type of world in the 60s that you want to see, and it feels good, and it feels familiar to what the comic books were and what this family was in the time. So I absolutely was blown away by this. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It does not hold up to me like Superman. I don't think there are things about it that it just needs to break away from if it wants to be something a little bit different. It still feels very Marvel at times, and tying it in and seeing where it goes forward, I hope they keep within the same tone, but I'm not that optimistic that Marvel will do that. I hope they do, though. Now, Paul, I've spoken a lot. What did you think about Fantastic Four?
So I'm not a big comic book guy, so I never read comic books or anything like that. So I don't have ties like that. So I'm going to say something that's going to upset you. The Miles Teller Fantastic Four was probably my favorite one so far. Until this one. This one's runner-up. Yeah, don't squint your eyes and shake your head at me. I'm just being honest, setting a preference so you guys know.
I forgot that one existed. That's why I didn't talk about it.
That's my
I needed to not talk about that movie.
But I love that era, the 60s era. Like, that's probably almost my go-to music era anyway. I love everything, the feel about it, the whole family element. I thought they did a fantastic job. All the actors performed good. I enjoyed watching them grow together and going through stuff as a family and just seeing how they all played out. This made me hopeful for Marvel movies, but it's also setting me up knowing that I feel like they're probably going to absolutely Marvel it up for the second one that they add. But as far as this one's concerned, I thought it was great. I think it's absolutely worth a watch. I think you'll enjoy it. I do agree with you. I do think Superman was the better one that's come out recently. But yeah, I'd say absolutely see this. I was kind of worried with some of this all-star cast in my mind that somebody might outshine or try, just be everyone fighting for screen time and it show. But it seemed like everyone played their role and they played it great. It's a lot of fun. absolutely go see it. The action was
no.
solid and the story was good. Yeah,
Definitely worth seeing on the big screen. Is that it's cinematic in that way, but it just. I think the thing for me is, yes, I can see. I don't know where this Fantastic Four fits into Marvel unless they make changes to Marvel, which I know is the point of Secret Wars. But right now, seeing this Fantastic Four show up in Doomsday, I'm wondering how that's going to fit and how that's going to work. So we'll see how it plays out. Overall, though, I think it's a good movie. A lot of fun to check out. Check it out on the big screen. They get almost every bit of it right. But there's just some things to me where kind of they got out of touch with plot a few times, and they pushed some things in the movie in terms of like visual effects, stuff like that, to kind of build up on the lore of the family. Where I was like, I don't know that we need this. It seemed more like some extra bits here and there that just didn't really fit within. So like timing and pacing and such was a little choppy at times, but good movie though. Very good movie. I really enjoyed it. So go check it out. Like Paul says. Now we're going to get to our top 5 countdown of favorite movie directors. We're going to run down the list. We're going to start at number 5. Now we've been doing this every week since we've been doing the director's bracket, which we're going to finish off tonight. And the first week was classic directors, our top 5. Last week was it was new directors. Last week was classic directors. Now we're doing our favorite directors. What's your number 5, Paul?
I kind of did 2 for 1 because it was technically 2 directors for Late Night with the Devil. So I went with Colin and Cameron Carnes.
Okay. What else have they done? I don't know outside of that.
I couldn't really find a lot that they had done, but
that's okay.
I love that one enough to be like, that's at least number 5.
That's fine. That's fine. All right. So my number 5 is Alfred Hitchcock. Truly brilliant. Now, I've built this list on how often I can watch their movies and like what's my go-to for a lot of these directors. So Alfred Hitchcock is up there. I go to him quite a bit. A lot of his movies are comfort movies for me. Number 4.
Alfred Hitchcock.
There you go. It's a good one. Alfred Hitchcock. Why not? Mine is Stanley Kubrick. Arguably the greatest director of all time. For me, I can watch his movies. I can go back to them. They are comforting in a weird way, and I think it's mostly because of the brilliance in filmmaking. But that's my number 4. What do you got
for number 3?
Was that? Oh, you gave Alfred Hitchcock as your number 4. So number 3 is what do you got?
It's Stanley Kubrick.
There you go. For me, number 3 is Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg is like a warm blanket on a cold day. He's going to make me feel better with one of his movies. If Raiders isn't doing it, there's something that he made that's going to do it. I think Kubrick. I think comparatively, Spielberg isn't as good of a director as all the ones mentioned on here, but he has made some of the most influential, in my opinion. So, all right, what's your number 3?
Christopher Nolan.
Okay, great pick. Worth it. Number 2. What's your number 2?
David Fincher.
All right, I like it. Mine is Quentin Tarantino. I can watch any one of his movies at any time. I love Quentin Tarantino's movies. What's your number 1?
It's Jordan Peele because of kind of like you said, the ones I've watched. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Nope and Get Out and Us. It's an unfathomable number how many times I've watched all 3 of those.
Listen, that's fair. I actually went with Spike Lee, and the way I judged my rating of this is like how often I'm gonna watch any one of their movies, and his are the most. Like there are a few of his movies I watch at least once a year. Inside Man is one of the best movies of all time, in my opinion. But that's easier than there. So my answer for number 1 is Spike Lee. That's our top 5 directors, and I hope you guys enjoyed it because we're moving on to the inside.
I feel like I need to revisit Inside Man because I haven't watched that recently. And with you talking about it like that, I kind of like, I probably need to give that another rewatch.
Definitely. You should. You don't need to. You definitely should. 100% do that. There. Uh-oh. You okay? Did you take a drink? Is that what happened?
No, I took not a drink. Not a drink.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it down. Can I say this?
Yes.
Before we get started. Mm-hmm. Mick, you got to turn your mic up. But that's not what I wanted to say. I just got to say this to you guys, people. I've been thinking it over for a week now.
Oh boy.
And High Noon still sucks.
Ugh.
I just want to kick it off with that before we get started. I love you
Why?
guys.
Why did you have to kick it off on my show? We already argued about it on your show.
I'm actually going to tell you why.
It pissed me off.
I was just watching that clip of where you asked me to watch your documentary about it and about the talking about the movie and stuff. So I'm just like, you know what? There was a reason why this clip just happened to pop up in front of me right now scrolling. So I got to say something. By the way, you guys should be subscribed to the Scene Snobs, and you guys should go check out his short clips and his documentaries of that. I'll say, if you want to have a bad, long, boring, bad day, or if you want to punish your children, like if your kids are acting up, make them watch High Noon.
Watch High Noon. It's a great movie.
And then Blood Lake right after.
No.
Double punishment, depending on what they did. Steal the car, Blood Lake, High Noon. That's the punishment.
You're doing this on purpose, and I don't
no
want
spankings
anymore. You're doing this on purpose, and I hate you for it.
No, then watch any Nicolas Cage movie just to remember that movies are great, and that's the best actor of all time.
Well, if that was my child, and they were over here rooting for Nicolas Cage, they just have to get the fuck out. I don't care if you're newborn or 36. Get out.
Oh my god.
Brutal.
This is what I get for bringing the two amazing hosts with the most from Horror Research Study podcast, and two of the three on Popcorn and Pints, the mans, the myths, the legends, the High Noon haters.
Damn
that
right.
is Sturdy and James. What's up, guys? Welcome.
I didn't hate it.
Fair, but you didn't defend it there either. So
I did not defend it because it was filmed great. Like it was long. It was dragging out.
I think the editing is fantastic in that movie, but that's just me. I can go on and on about that movie. Yeah. These guys can go on and on about that movie.
Me too.
The one thing I do want to mention as we're talking about directors tonight, House on Haunted Hill, baby.
There you go. Great movie.
Vincent Price, directed by William Castle, who was the director but also producer who made all of those amazing horror marketing gimmicks back in the day. The Emergo vision and was it the Tingle vision or whatever it was, and where it would shock the people in their seats while the Tingler was running around. Yeah. That was William Castle, fantastic, and I want to shine some light on him, especially considering he started shitting on old stuff.
Okay, Mick, I have one more thing to say. I promise this isn't about. I don't believe you. It's not about that terrible movie High Noon. It's actually about Happy Gilmore too. Just from listening to what you guys were talking about with the review. Okay. I'm not very interested in watching that. I may watch it, but I'm not in a hurry to see it.
Watch it.
Maybe what I'll do is
there's gonna be parts gonna make you laugh.
Should I watch part 1 first just to kind of get like that kind
of? Have you never seen part 1?
I haven't seen part 1 in years. I've seen it. I just haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, you don't need to because they do flashbacks and they do callback. So it'll all flood back. It'll come back to you.
You know, actually, it doesn't even need to flood back to you. You're right. It just shows you the whole movie in this.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's
Listen, there's parts that are going to make you laugh, man.
Oh, I know.
The reasons that bugged me about Happy Gilmore 2 are the same reasons that bugged me about the first Ghost Rider movie. It's like they would show a scene, they would show the whole past, and then for the rest of the movie, they would, go back to scenes from earlier in the movie as flashbacks. And I'm like, I remember that. Why are you showing this to me again?
Yeah, I know. This just happened.
Oh my God. But guys, we have a big day. Are you guys ready?
No, I'm not. I've been dreading this all week.
1,000% ready. Okay. I had so much fun last week with this. I can't wait.
No, I'm not. It hurts my heart. This is going to hurt my heart a lot this week too.
No, not at all.
These brackets, they suck because you're putting good against good, and you're like, well, fuck, I guess.
That's how it works. That's how you become the best, man. You got to beat out the others.
Yeah, you argue for Peter Jackson.
What do you think, March Madness, the number 1's going against number 55th?
I don't know.
They're going against number 2 or top ranked people. 4.
Not actually, James. Number 1 goes up against the bottom seed.
No, the first match, not near the finals, not the final 4.
Oh shit! Sometimes number 1's knocked out.
Yeah,
you're right, but I'm not saying you're not going to see no fucking like number 25 up there. That'd be like the ultimate underdog story.
Hey, listen.
You mean like Happy Gilmore too?
Like, yeah, or Cinderella story, whatever they compare it to.
That was a
Those
good
happen.
movie. Cinderella, man.
Oh yeah,
Alfred Hitchcock is going to win this. So there's no debating. We know why. Janet Leigh. Simple.
I
as
don't
that.
even have to look it up. Yeah, Alfred.
The
Hitchcock.
one movie, Psycho.
Listen.
Oh, I love.
I don't have to talk about the rest of his movies. I'm just giving you my number one reason. I don't have to talk about the rest of his stuff. You know, I know, Paul and James both know that Alfred Hitchcock is moving on. But let's see what everybody else says.
I'll never forget. There was one time I was doing this show. And we had a guest on, and he came on hammered, and I think Sturdy was there for it. Right? And like it was just annoying the whole time. Not Sturdy. Sturdy has some drinks, and he's like, "This is the time I poke the bear." This is when we need to play Phasmophobia with Sturdy. Is when he's officially like good and toasty.
Sipping?
He's gonna talk to that ghost. Like there's no I'm getting off this for a second. He's gonna talk to that ghost like he shouldn't be in Sturdy's house.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, because more than likely we'll be playing this not too long after this stream. Give me the spirit box every round.
Yeah, as soon as they talk, you're gonna run.
No.
I'm gonna grab
I
a
got
spirit box
tonight.
just to smite you until you watch High Noon again and give me a report on why it's actually a bad movie. I want to know facts. Why it's
Oh,
bad.
go watch Popcorn and Pints. You'll see.
You didn't say much there either. You just said it was bad.
It was bad. It was boring. The story wasn't connecting. I thought the story sucked. It was slow, and I love slow burns. But it just has to. It's like a build up. You know, when you're with the woman, it's like foreplay. The slow burns, like you get to the foreplay, you get to the fun stuff, and I love that build up, getting to know each other, and then boom, explosion at the end. But we didn't get that. We got.
Listen, he's not wrong. This is bullshit.
What,
This
being white
is bullshit. You gotta play with it. You gotta play with it.
He's
You gotta
right.
tickle it.
It's the build up. It
You
makes it
gotta
so much
build
better.
it up. You gotta make sure that it is played with beforehand. People just don't understand. By hand. Have you met Jill?
Little patty pat.
God, not the stranger.
No, Jill. J I. You never heard that one before?
No, I never heard that.
No.
Who's your girlfriend, Jill?
Jill.
Oh, welcome to the middle-aged high school podcast.
Have you met the Greasy Stranglers?
Greasy Stranglers.
Recommend that movie.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this is a tough one though.
That's a
I'm not
fun watch
gonna
party
lie.
movie.
It is a tough one. Like Fincher
Alfred
is very
Hitchcock,
much.
though, it's also because a lot of his movies are horror, and I'm drawn to the horror.
Mhm.
Even though
So
David Fincher, did he do
Fincher's
like
kind of.
Zodiac? Did he do Zodiac? Or
Yes, he
or
did.
something?
Seven, Zodiac,
Oh,
Fight
damn,
Club.
Fight Club. Fuck,
Fight Club,
damn it.
Right.
Okay, hold on. This is okay.
Aliens 3.
Dune.
Aliens 3.
I'm just
He did the director's cut is arguably much better.
Okay, I changed my answer. David Fincher. I think I enjoyed the movie.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't think that was happening.
Oh,
We can't not have Alfred Hitchcock go ahead. I'm going with Sturdy. Sturdy and I have already beat the deal.
wait.
It was,
So what is
Alfred,
Paul?
it was Alfred Hitchcock, but if you gave me like a pile of movies, I think I'll be more entertained with David Fincher's movies. But Alfred Hitchcock movies are classic, good horror movies.
It's Hitchcock.
I get that, but
It's got to be
it's
Hitchcock
Hitchcock.
because it stands time.
Hitchcock.
You can still watch
It does,
this and
yeah.
still enjoy
I
it
agree.
now.
I see
I-
that.
I-
So
like-
Hitchcock.
like
It's tough though, especially
I'm
with the
never
Dune.
gonna get filmmakers on this show.
Dude, you got Fight
Listen,
Club.
I'm going to tell you right now, filmmakers, if you won't come on this show because people have opinions that are opposed to you, that's your issue. You need to work on that. You need to work on yourself. You need to learn how to come on here and just argue with us. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
Have
love
a fun
Sturdy.
debate.
I make a generalization and now he starts attacking filmmakers.
I'm just saying, this is an amazing show. This is one of the best shows out.
Oh,
This is one of the best shows out. So again, if you don't want to come on here because people don't agree with what you agree with, maybe you shouldn't be on it. Don't go on shows anyway. Stop making films. Actually, if you can't, if you can't deal with that, do something else.
that's incredibly right when it comes to film. Like, you're not wrong.
No, seriously, like,
You gotta
all
be
jokes
okay
aside,
with
though,
it.
Yeah, I know you're gonna have different critiques of what people of. I'll use Thanksgiving. I love that movie. It's a terrible movie, but I love that movie. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, it's bad. I hate it." Blah 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 blah. I love it. That shouldn't discourage people from doing film because say the majority of the people hate that movie. Don't get discouraged by that because there's gonna be people like me and Paul and James and Mick that enjoy maybe not Thanksgiving, but I'll tell you one we all love.
Yeah.
No. Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves.
Oh, Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves. So
That
fun.
brought us all together. That brought us closer.
I would say Blood Lake brought us all together.
True.
I still haven't
So
watched it.
objectively, the most terrible movie you've ever seen. It's the one that brought everybody together the most.
That's true.
Yeah. So
We had
All
the most fun with Helen Keller, though. Well, the movie, not her.
Real fun.
I want to watch that again. So.
She is my favorite pilot, though.
We
I'd
do
like
have
to
to
see
do a
her
watch
JOI.
party for that. We gotta get
Helen
Chris.
Keller's
That's the only way he's
JOI,
gonna
that'd
watch
be
it.
something to see and hear.
You know what?
Hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but on podcasts, if we all talk at the same time, nobody can hear us.
That's
I mean,
true.
they can. They just don't know what we're saying. I got to tell you this last thing. I'm going to say this right now. For our Halloween episode, November 1st on Popcorn and Pints, we're going to be doing a watch party of the Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves and doing a live commentary. So you guys should join that.
I said
Made an executive decision. We want our co-hosts to watch it. I feel like it's the best time to do it. It'll be a good time. You guys should
Wait,
tune in
what
for that.
movie?
Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves.
Why do we
November
have to wait
1st.
till Halloween? Why can't we just watch it now?
Because he picked something else for his birthday.
So pick some. It's your show. Pick anything you want.
Popcorn and Pints is not my show. Popcorn and Pints is
It's okay.
all of
In
us.
fairness, it's one of three people's shows, and if you say, "Hey, you know what? I want to watch this and do a watch party," I'm fairly certain the other two would be like, "Yeah, all right."
I'm that type. I don't care what I watch.
Like the wheels are great, but don't get me wrong. Like you might as well indulge every once in a while. You know,
I missed
like
the wheels, Mick. I missed the wheels.
I know, but
The
you're going
reels
back
are
to them.
fun, but I think it'll also be fun, like to do newer movies that everybody's relevant at the time because they just came out and everything. But the wheels are fun. Don't get me wrong. I found some movies that I hate that I love that I would have never watched before.
Well, you could
Yeah,
always
thank
do a situation where you spin the wheel. You pick a movie, like a new movie coming out. I'm not saying every week. I'm just saying every once in a while, a new movie that you guys want to see.
Maybe
Right,
once
like-
a month we could do this, but I'm listening.
Yeah. But like,
Just so that we
let's say Fantastic Four is a movie you all wanted to see, right? And
Mhm.
review. I'm not saying it is, but let's say that's one is. So now make a wheel of something that fits within the realm of fantastic. Like, okay, well, let's make a wheel of which Fantastic Four movie are we going to watch? Which superhero movie are we going to watch? Which family movie are we going to watch to mix with the family movie of Fantastic Four? You know, stuff like that. And then you have a wheel that you now have another movie to watch with Fantastic Four.
Mm.
That sort of fits in within the framework.
We'll have to talk about the more behind the scenes, Mick, but I like that idea.
All right.
You know what this jerk is going to do, though? His asshole's going to go behind scenes and just start working on some shit. Like, yo, guys.
No. This you run with this. I'm not doing it.
Wait. Listen. Hey,
I have
what-
my
what-
own show I got to
what-
figure out.
You say that.
What
all
I
the time,
what
too.
I love about Mick, but what gets on my nerves about Mick is he puts this stuff on himself, right?
Not this time.
And then the whole week he's bitching to us about it.
I
And then
have
he's like,
monster
yo,
video to get ready for.
boom. Yes, monster video August 1st. I know you guys are saying, when are you gonna drop? August 1st. I think. Is that next Friday, August 1st?
But this
Whatever
is a
next
show
Friday
like
is.
we were pushing it back, not because like effectively I wanted more time to work on it. I want it to
Yes.
be the best it can be. And because this is a once a month show and a sort of a special event, I'm going to take my time. I'm not just going to run into everything willy-nilly like. So I'm excited, but that's just one more idea. But let's get to the list. Let's finish this thing off. All right, we got Denny Villeneuve versus Bong Joon-ho. Denny, of course, directed Blade Runner 2049, The Arrival, Dunes Part 1 and 2. What else did he direct? A ton of stuff. Fantastic director. Fantastic. I think one of the best auteur directors out right now. Going up against also another one that I think out of Korea, Bong Joon-ho, Snowpiercer, Parasite, He just did Mickey 17. He hosted The Host, great horror movie, monster creature feature. If you've never seen it, these are two amazing directors that I think kind of match fairly evenly on here. What do you guys think?
I'm
Mine-
gonna.
mine's
I have.
Bong. Bong Joon-ho.
I haven't seen either one of their films, but
You
I'll
never
be
seen
more.
Parasite
No, I didn't watch
Oh,
it.
Parasite's
or Host?
good.
I thought you
Good
seen the
movie.
Host. I thought you seen Host.
And Host.
I
Host
can't
was
remember.
pretty
Well,
Either
where
way,
the monster steals a little girl,
nah.
and the family has to go and say, "Oh my god, that is a
Yeah.
great movie."
Yeah.
But what I was getting at though is Bong Joon-ho, because it's more of like a horror realm. I'd be more inclined to watch his films than the other gentleman's films. So that's
Yeah, I mean it's more sci-fi when it comes to Denny, but man, is he epic! I'd have to go Denny.
I
So I
never
think
seen
we're
the
tied.
Dunes. I never seen the Dunes.
Ooh, how do you do a tiebreaker?
We usually go to a man on the street, so we'll move on until somebody in the comments send us a comment. Let us know, who do you choose, Denny or Bong?
We're gonna do phone a friend.
We could do phone a friend. If one of you can find somebody who either wants to come on or give their take that we know has to be a movie podcaster,
Oh.
I'll let you
movie
run it.
podcaster.
Yeah, somebody who knows movies. I don't want to just.
What if they
Facebook message Caucasian Chris.
Oh, this one's gonna be tough.
Ooh.
I'm not, but this one's.
No, this is not gonna be tough for me. I don't think. Wait. I don't know.
Part of me wants to make Dan listen to this episode and shit a brick when I say we're pushing Steven Spielberg ahead, but I don't think I could physically really do that.
This is director's bracket, not feel good. I'm gonna go with Kubrick.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Kubrick is probably the greatest director of all time. The Shining, Full Metal Jacket, 2001: Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, Eyes Wide Shut, Barry Lyndon, The Killing. Oh my god, I'm going forever. I think it's got to be Kubrick for me. What do you guys think?
I think Kubrick too. Even though Steven Spielberg, Paul just said it, Steven Spielberg movies are that comfort. Like he has a lot of good ones, but it's like a comfort thing. But Kubrick has, it's the directing and everything is really good,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't deny that. So I'll have to go with Kubrick.
All right. Well, last up, we gotta go back to Denny and
For me, even though he lost, I'm going with Spielberg. But
okay, that's fair. He did. Majority did rain on that one, but I do appreciate Spielberg getting a vote. So, thank you.
yeah, I do. Like I just like his movies more. I think The Shining is a little overrated. It's a good movie. It's a great movie, but I think it's overrated.
So I'm a big fan of Stephen King movies.
What do you think's a better movie, The Shining or Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Shining.
The Shining by far. I hate Raiders of the Lost. I hate Indiana Jones.
I still don't know why, but
What?
whatever.
I
Yeah.
hate
Really?
Indiana Jones films. Yeah. The Door movie, the Door live action movie, I stand on this, is better than any Indiana Jones
That is
movie.
wild.
What about National Treasure? Or no, you don't like Cage.
Nick
Never mind.
Cage.
You just
Sturdy
don't-
doesn't appreciate good adventures.
Uncharted? Did you see Uncharted?
Honestly, Uncharted, I had a good time with. Uncharted was fun. It was okay at best, but no, honestly, those adventure movies, I think I don't know. I like them better with the kids, like Goonie style.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair. Well, next up, we got Chris
More
Nolan
Goonies.
versus Richard Donner. Now, Richard Donner, speaking of the Goonies, directed the Goonies. He also directed Superman. He directed countless movies. Richard Donner is a fantastic filmmaker. Going up against Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, of course, directed the Batman Dark Knight trilogy. He directed Dunkirk. He directed Inception, Interstellar. I think he's right now probably the best working director, especially on an epic scale. My vote goes to Chris Nolan. I love Richard Donner, but I think Chris Nolan earns, like, if I'm being honest, him and Denny have the best chances at being considered Kubrick level director one day. And it's edged onto Chris Nolan, in my opinion. I mean, Interstellar is like on an epic scale that it is 2001 better. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such an interesting thing. So, what about you?
For me,
guys?
I always go Prestige when I think of Christopher Nolan. So it's still
Prestige,
still
yeah.
Christopher Nolan, but Prestige, for whatever reason, that movie just clicks on every cylinder for Paul. I guess it's magic. Magic freaks me out in a good way.
It's hard to argue. What about you, James? What do you got?
You know, I'm with Chris Nolan too. It's different for me. Like Richard Donner, like you said, Superman. The older you go through his list of movies, you're like, oh, they were good. But like you said, Chris Nolan is like the new, out there, more modern, and his movies are coming out good. The Batman ones was fucking dark. I like how they made Batman like more dark, like like dark style comics, like or noir or something like that. And instead of this like cheesy, cartoony, pow, kick, pow.
Hey, listen, hang on, James. I missed the pow. I love the pow kick.
I love it too, but not as a movie. If it's a modern movie, don't do that. You can't. You can't make a modern movie of the first Batman. That'd be weird.
I'd watch it.
It'd be
I'll
interesting.
watch it, but I don't think it's going to be good.
I think you could do it. You just have to do it right and give it justice. Do it. You know what I mean?
It would have to be campy.
Yeah.
Like I think if you really wanted to, and if like and a filmmaker like James Gunn was willing to do it, or got somebody like Andy Muschietti, I think is directing the Batman Brave and the Bold, but fantastic director too. He did It, Chapter 1 and 2. He did the new Flash. I mean, that poor guy was run through the ringer with it, but he is objectively a very talented filmmaker that I really appreciate. And the reason I bring him up is like I think he could pull off something like a more campy, or maybe not campy, but bright Batman. Like if you go see this new Superman, it's a brighter Superman. I think if you're gonna do a Batman that is more campy or maybe has a little more wholesomeness to it, you can't immediately go to 66. I think you have to more try and capture the essence of the animated series.
There you go.
Is where I come from that.
The animated series, love it.
Still dark, it's still brooding, still has Batman to it, but there's a lot of heart to that show. And it showed a really wonderful side to Batman and the fact that he wants to save the people he's locking up. Like he is focused on justice, whereas Superman is like a firefighter, Batman's a cop, he's a detective.
Yeah,
but he wants to save the people he's even still going after, and I always appreciated that about Batman. That's why when it came to the Nolan Batmans, I'm like, oh, he got dark. He got real dark. And I like that too. That's okay too. All right. So we're going Chris Nolan on this one?
Yeah.
Sir.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chris Nolan. I mean, freaking Dark Knight alone. The Dark Knight alone, like you got, like James was saying, just how that trilogy just went dark reminds me of, not story-wise as far as being dark, 89 and Returns before it got stupid.
No. We're 2 for 2 on Denny and Bong. Has anybody changed their mind at all? Maybe looked up.
Nope.
Sturdy's locked in. All right.
I can't. I'm more drawn to the Parasite. It was good. I don't know. I like the horror. I think the horror's pushing me to that side. That's why.
All right. I think I might change, but here's why.
Because you love
Bong Joon-ho. The reason I would be willing to go to him is because he is a more versatile director, in my opinion.
Okay.
We got comedy out of him. We got family moments out of him. We got horror out of him. We got sci-fi out of him. We got dramatic out of him. With Denny, it's one tone. He is an atmospheric director who knows what the characters in his story need to be. But that does not mean that they're anything that are shining characters like that stand out. Parasite, you really loved the character development in that movie. You know, Arrival didn't have that. You know, Blade Runner 2049, an amazing movie, but it can't just be about the look and the aesthetics of the movie. for a director, because then we're talking cinematography, which is coming up soon. But I might have to go Bong Joon-ho just because his movies, they're more versatile. Oh man,
Paul's disappointed. He goes, I
Oh.
cannot believe this.
Nah.
I thought about it and I was like, I watched Mickey 17 and Denny. I've seen Denny's movies and I've seen the brooding characters he puts forth.
What are we at the final four now?
Bong puts on some good ones. We are at the final four. Alfred Hitchcock versus Bong Joon-ho.
Oh,
By
Oh,
Bong
shit.
Joon. It's gonna be Hitchcock.
Hitchcock.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way it's not Hitchcock.
Yeah.
No, that was an easy one. Like nobody's I think the final two are really where we're gonna
They have
What is it
trouble.
going to be? Kubrick versus Hitchcock? Hitchcock?
Probably.
Hitchcock.
Probably.
Kubrick versus Hitchcock.
But Paul, who you like? Nolan
Well,
better?
Let's
Then
see.
Kubrick?
Yeah.
Kubrick versus
No.
No,
Kubrick's
okay.
still.
Okay.
I agree with
All right.
Nick in the thought that I think Kubrick's the best there
Okay.
was. Like just how intricate he was, how everything in the scene was there for a reason. He went above and beyond his lighting, like every aspect of his directing is just on point. And I'm amazed by him.
Everything you just said is why I'm choosing Chris Nolan.
You piece of
Hey,
shit.
But
funny
but
you say
here's
that.
why. Here's why. No, you hear me out. Hear me out. I'm
Mhm.
choosing Chris Nolan because I think he is continuing on. I think there is no Chris Nolan without a Stanley Kubrick existing. I can be swayed though. Hold on. And also I'm not mad if I lose. But with Chris Nolan, I feel like he does all of those things and in most cases tells better stories.
All right. Can I interrupt here?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is this bracket about?
The director, what do they produce? What kind of movies do they produce?
The best director?
Yeah, and take into account what directors do, working with actors,
Okay.
telling these stories through a lens.
But you're thinking of Nolan that he's going to be great in the future. He's not there yet.
What are you talking about? He's been
No,
around
I'm
for
saying,
20
no, he's
years.
good, but you're saying
Memento, following.
I'm saying you're thinking ahead of time. You're like, he's going to end up better than Kubrick or.
The Prestige came out in like 2008.
I know, but I'm just saying that's how it sounded like to me. Like you're saying that he's still going, he's going to get better and better. But if we're talking about like right now, the movies I've seen of these two,
If you think about Kubrick and his movies,
there's good movies.
they're amazing. Amazing.
That's
Amazing.
so tough, man. They're good.
You're picking Kubrick, James?
Out of the
I don't know.
movies, I think I would
I
grab
think if
a pile of his movies first.
I'm
I
going with
think if-
Nolan. Because I just pulled them up on Google. Nolan's movies. I would definitely watch before I watch Kubrick's movies.
have you seen Kubrick's movies? now you're kind of swinging me back because I'm like, Kubrick's movies are very well done too.
They're
Very
good.
good character studies. But let's
Steve-
take it little by little, his movies that he's done. And let's compare them.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just compare some, not all of them. But weirdly enough, like if you say it, like 2001 compares well to Interstellar.
Okay.
Interstellar's a better movie.
I honestly, I never seen Interstellar.
It's a better movie. It really,
Okay.
like story wise, it hits but it's still on an epic scale. Still the same amount of care went into it. Let's say Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
I think that's a 10 out of 10 movie. I think Dunkirk is almost as good as it. I mean, I think it's just as good in terms of the look, the aesthetics, the style, the themes. I
think Full Metal
think
Jacket's better.
Full Metal Jacket was special for different reasons, and worked within the story. So I think it's a better movie. But I'm just saying. But you take a movie like Dunkirk, which is sort of around the same, dealing with military and such. It's a good movie, and it's about. It's got a lot of similar themes as what I'll say. But you take movies like that, and then you take like let's say A Clockwork Orange, Memento. I mean, Memento's a great movie, like Prestige, a great movie. So I'm going to vote Chris Nolan. That doesn't mean he wins.
Okay.
That's just where my vote is. I know, Paul, you're on Stanley Kubrick, and that's completely understandable and fine.
I'm with Paul.
You're with Paul and Stanley Kubrick. And Sturdy, where are you at?
Nolan.
Nolan. So we are.
And I just for Nolan, for me,
Yeah.
what really, really did it for me, again, going with Batman again, but The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, what he did in that was just...
That's the one movie, though. What about name other Nolan movies that stand out and you thought were great?
Just that performance, though, is still talked about to this day. I know this movie's
Jack
not like
Nicholson and The
30,
Shining.
40 years. The Shining is fuck The Shining. The Shining is overrated. The Shining is
7.
The Shining is overrated. The Shining is probably, at my rating scale nowadays, is probably like a 7 or an 8.
Fight Club?
I'm tired of The Shining.
Aaron, Fight Club?
No, that wasn't Nolan. That was.
Oh,
Fincher.
that's right. Never mind. No, not Nolan. I mean,
Oh, Kubrick?
Kubrick, right?
He didn't direct Fight Club.
He didn't?
No,
he
Fincher
did not.
directed Fight Club.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I mixed him up. My bad.
Around that time, Eyes Wide Shut was Kubrick.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then he got killed.
But no, what I was gonna say is that performance was a game changer, a huge game changer for, I would say, villains in these type of films. Like, he felt like a real freaking villain, and it almost gave like a horror feel. I can see that being. Matter of fact, Johnny, you're here. Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker. Who?
Kubrick or Nolan? Whoever you
Tell me
think moves on to
it's
the next
rigged
round.
after you give us the tiebreaker.
Yeah, 'cause we need a tiebreaker for this one. Kubrick
And
or
listen,
Nolan?
like, I'm happy to switch to Kubrick, but
I'm
no,
happy-
you guys
I'm
aren't
not-
arguing for Kubrick. You're just upset that I chose Nolan.
You could persuade me. to
Argue
go
with me.
Nolan.
I can persuade you towards Nolan. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to because Paul will get really mad at me.
I don't know, man.
Johnny, you hold the power.
Yeah, okay. Stanley Kubrick is the Michael Jordan of Christopher Nolan's Kobe Bryant because Nolan got a lot of his game from Kubrick. I would not quite phrase it that way. I would say he's inspired by Kubrick more than he got it from. Because I would even argue that Nolan puts more attention into his films. And that is a hard thing to say against Stanley Kubrick because that man put all of the attention into his films. But if you want to talk about attention in the films in detail, Hitchcock should be up there for the argument.
Mm.
But think
So
about
fair.
this. A director's first job on a film set is to direct the actors. I want you to think about the movies we were talking about. What had the best acting in terms of their movies? Who has the best acting in terms of their movies? I'm not saying there aren't some amazing performances, but arguably who has the better actors better performances?
I love Jack Nicholson in Shining.
That's not wrong with that. But that's one performance.
You okay? I'm thinking. Let me think.
I forget
All
his
right, let me
name.
look up.
Private
Christian
Pile from
Bale
Full
in The
Metal
Prestige. It was just as good, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Oh, what did you? I'm sorry. What did you say, Paul? I
Jacket.
missed it.
Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket. I forget that actor's name.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Amazing. I don't argue that. That is a great performance.
So is Shelley Duvall's. Jesus Christ, poor thing. Yeah,
Well, she had to go through hell to get to that performance.
he still got it.
That's
out of
another
it.
thing too. Chris Nolan doesn't abuse his actors. I'm going to
We
give it
have
to Nolan.
we have a winner, guys. We have a winner.
Oh yeah. Nolan wins the tiebreaker. Nolan has a deeper bitch. I mean, has the deeper bitch. I mean, and I know that's not what he meant, but I'm going to say it. Bench. I mean, in my opinion, Nolan has a deeper bench. Cooper has a lot of classes, but like me personally, Nolan was the better roster.
All right, so it's Nolan.
Oh. All right. To my co-hosts, how upset are you?
No
right
one's
now?
trying to assassinate Nolan for his movies, though. I'm just going to leave that one out there, even though Nolan's moving ahead. I'm just saying.
I'm just listen. It's
Throwing
Alfred
it out
Hitchcock versus Christopher Nolan for the big one.
It's
For
Hitchcock.
the big one.
Hitchcock. Fuck you guys if you say anything different. I swear to God, it's Hitchcock.
Oh my god!
I swear to God, Sturdy, say some silly shit, please.
This is hard, but
It's not hard. What do you mean? You're a horror guy. Are you kidding me?
no, I know, but I love Batman. But you know what? I got my answer. I'll tell you guys.
I don't have my answer.
It's hard. It is. This one's hard.
It's a hard one. I didn't realize
I like them both for different reasons.
All right, I'll say mine. I'm gonna say this. Listen, Jamie Lee Curtis, I should have been your dad. You know who I'm picking. Alfred Hitchcock. Because Paul is right. That I mean, by far, horror is my favorite genre, and I mean that's the biggest reason right there.
He does have non-horror movies, though. I did see a couple of those, and they're good for what they the genre it is.
But Hitchcock has a lot of non-horror movies.
Yeah, he does.
He has some amazing.
I only seen a few of them, I think, though.
Dude, you should go down a deep dive of.
I thought he was just.
I think
horror.
you'd really
when I first found him, it was Birds.
Psycho.
Psycho. I was like, this dude is good at horror movies. I didn't know he did other stuff back then when I was younger. So now I seen it. I watched a couple. I was like, this is not horror. I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not horror. Then I found out he just don't do horror.
I forgot to tell you on this.
Johnny, you would have had fun with this one.
As we're voting, my vote counts as 4.
You hear him?
So
you know what's crazy? This bracket would be different if I wasn't here.
I'm glad you're here. I like what
I disrupted I changed its fate.
I like that you're here. All right, so everybody raise their hands who's for Hitchcock. All right, that's all 3 of you for Hitchcock.
Yep. And you said, hang on, you just said yours counts as 4, which would put it as a tie because Johnny also picked Hitchcock, which he's already.
My vote counts as 5. We don't need a tiebreaker if I have 4. All right, Paul. I just want to say, very sorry. No, it's going to be Hitchcock, but here's why. As much as I love Nolan and his films, and they are truly, and I think by the end of his career, we're going to look back at Nolan up there, maybe as the best. All right. Now, with that being said, I will say this. There are 2 stories about Hitchcock I've always heard that will always put him on top for me. One, I was a UPM, yes, absolutely. So rap books are such an important factor in filmmaking. If you don't know what a rap book is, look it up. It is what makes the film go round. It is the entire film in book form, not novel form. All of everything for that movie, it's the Bible. The rap book is the most important thing on set. You need it. I always heard that Hitchcock's rap books were so immaculate that if he died before a movie was made, you can make the movie in exactly his vision based on his rap books. As a UPM, I got to respect that. That's an extra point.
So what's UPN? The only thing I know about UPN is that old TV channel. What's UPN?
UPM, Unit Production Manager. They do the budget. They work with the schedule with the first director. They do hiring of the below the line crew. They work with every single facet of the crews on set and the departments, and just like kind of how it all works. They keep everything, in their rap books and such. So all the designs for costuming, the art department, all the receipts for everything, to keep in line with the budget. They keep the line scripts. They keep the shot lists. Just anything that is an aspect of the movie being made, it's in a rap book. Now, second thing I heard about Hitchcock that I appreciate, if it's true, because I don't know if there's any controversial stuff. I've heard like he was kind of picked on, certain actresses and such too, but I don't know that story, so I don't want to judge on that. I have heard Kubrick's times and time again. My point being is, I guess William Friedkin was his assistant when he was doing Alfred Hitchcock Presents back in the day. Mm-hmm. And they were meeting with some directors, like some sort of new hotshot director, who was meeting him for the first time. And I guess he hid a couple of extra like butter packets or something like that, which you were supposed to pay extra for in the commissary, underneath his food. And Hitchcock clocked it and never hired him. Whoa. I have to give that level of like respect. And it was told by William Friedkin, the story. Just like, nah, if he can, because it was like one of those things, like if he can steal those butters, then what else can he do on our set and something like that, or like what kind of director will he be? So like it speaks to character, and I got to give him that. So Alfred Hitchcock, in my long-winded debate, is our big winner for the best director. And be prepared, because I'm getting an earful of Dan lately. He thinks it should be Kubrick, and I don't know that that's wrong.
Listen. Here's what I'll say, and Dan, I love you, but if you wanted to vote, you had to be on the show or in the comments.
That's fair. That is fair. But Alfred Hitchcock is our winner. Congratulations, guys!
All right.
We did it.
Boom.
We got through.
Thank God.
We did
Boom,
that.
boom, boom.
It was wonderful. I love that. Thank you guys for joining in on me with this. We're going to be doing more brackets soon enough. Maybe a horror movie bracket.
That was for you, Janet.
That's gonna be.
It'll be an interesting one.
It will be interesting.
Top 64 horror movies. Paul's like, no, I'm not doing this
Easy.
anymore.
Easy. No
That's
problem.
tough.
That's easy.
What would you project right now before we did the arguing?
Project
the
like
best
don't
horror
want.
A horror movie. Which horror movie you think would be number one? What would you like?
Oh,
project?
number one. I don't know number one, but I know Conjuring's in my list.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'd probably
Maybe
have to go with Blair Witch. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
For the number one?
I love
Sure.
that freaking movie.
For number one? Well, I'm not upset. I'm just, that's surprising. I never hear that. Okay.
All right, Mick, I want to throw something out there for you because you like doing these brackets. What if you did like for horror, like a subgenre bracket,
It's the first
and
one
then
I
hey, hear me out. out of the subgenres, you break it down to where all the number ones face each other in the end. So like you can slasher,
okay.
whatever the top subgenre, you know what I'm saying? And then
okay, so break it down into subgenres. Well, what if we broke it down into subgenres on the list and dwindled it down? So
that's
like
fair too.
So like, you know how they do north, south, east, west, southeast, blah, blah, blah. Take like, all right, 10 best slashers, the 10 best paranormal, the 10 best this, that, and the other. So why don't we work on this for October, and maybe we'll do it then. That's gonna be an interesting one, and then we'll debate. That's gonna be a long one too. But
Could be
it's
fun.
gonna be a fun one. I had fun doing this one though. We got the directors done. We shared some of our favorite directors in different realms, and it was just been a ball. Thank you guys for joining me on this one and for this episode.
This was fun. This was definitely fun. And Johnny, you need to be on these because
Yes, I'm already working with them on it.
I know. I'm just saying because I got to see you and him go back and forth, argue or whatever you guys do because you guys know a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You guys know a lot of stuff, and I always enjoy those conversations where you have. I mean, even the ones that I'm involved in, but more so like when I get to sit back and just watch, or someone to sit back and watch them. Like I like to see when people are very, very knowledgeable about something that I'm very interested in, and just watch them go back and forth. Not even like a back and forth, like an argument or debate, but just back and forth with the knowledge that they both know and having a good time. You know how you and Johnny talk anyway, so just having a good time with the film stuff. It's kind of like how you and Trevor do. It's fun. It's so dope. It's so fun because you have. I love movies, man.
Well, we're going to be starting a new format soon on the show. It actually starts next week, where we're going to be bringing guests on from all walks of life, creators, filmmakers, things like that. And they're going to come on. I'm picking topics and top fives that are sort of garnered towards them. Okay. And they're going to also share with us recommendations of some of their favorite movies and why. And so that way we can discuss all that stuff, have open topics. And we'll still be offering the greatest show of absurdity there ever was, even if the absurdity is mild. But it's absurd that Alfred Hitchcock beats Stanley Kubrick in Paul's eyes, so that works. We've reached that accord. But
it happens.
Before we go, I'm gonna. Well, actually, I'll just kick you guys off to the side. You can hang out with me if you'd like, but it is time for me. No, that's not it. That's not it. I hate these things, dude. I hate them so much. There we go. It is time. No, that's not it. There's so many buttons.
It really is.
There's so many buttons on these stupid things, and I hate doing them. It's Mixed Movie Pick time. That's right. From 2004, I have chosen The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. My favorite Wes Anderson movie, if you haven't seen this, is one of his last ones, not his last one, but one of his last ones where he was incorporating more than just the diorama sets that he's known for. Really, like it explores the outside world, explores the ocean a lot, mixed with some great claymation, stop motion animation in there. And just some really fantastic elements to this movie. It talks a lot about many different themes like parenthood, toxic masculinity, and how that can affect who you are, grief and loss. Like there's so many great themes in this, and it's led by Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Cate Blanchett, Jeff Goldblum, Angelica Houston. There's just so many great names, but it is just a really well done, down to earth story that has some fun adventure to it and a lot of laughs. So go check this one out. Oh, and Bowie music in French all the way through. Go watch this movie. It's fantastic. But before you do, make sure to go check out our classic film review next Friday. It will be The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. So you can go check that out. This week we are doing Grease. And of course, our Does It Suck for next week will be Blue Sea. So check that out as well. But it is time again for Film Definitions with Mick. That's right, everybody. I keep continuing to do this because I'm having fun doing it. I'm taking an old book that I had back in the day in college, and it's a definition book on everything within the film industry and making movies. So I'm going to open up randomly. All right, here we go. Exploitation film. A film that exploits a subject for commercial advantage by pandering to the curiosity and prurience of the audience. Such films may exploit current violent events as the mass suicide in Guyana or well-known personalities in a slightly veiled way as Jackie Kennedy and Onassis. I don't know why they use that as their this is a very dated book, but the term more often describes especially violent and crudely sexual films. Ooh, exploitation films. So go check out some exploitation films. I'm a big proponent for exploitation films. They're fantastic. So with that being said, I want to say thank you. Before we go, I want to give a really big shout out to my two friends that joined us tonight. Sir Sturdy from the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast, joined by his co-pilot on that show, James Chubbs. Why did you pick Chubbs? You're thinner than I am.
I just realized he did that. I thought you were just calling him that, or nobody else would say, damn.
I realized I did call him Chubbs, and I'm like, why am I calling him Chubbs? I've never done that before. So thank you, James. Yeah, I think Johnny says we'd agree more than argue.
You two probably.
I do agree with that. I think he and I are, like, based on what we've said to each other.
That's why I want to be on that episode to throw everything off.
That's too many black people in one episode.
But it's two Sturdivants.
But we can replace you with another black person. It's just not you.
That's a luxury. Having two Sturdivants on your podcast is a luxury.
Oh my God, that would be two Sturdivants. Well, I had your brother on, but you weren't on, so that wasn't.
My brother's not a Sturdivant though. Johnny has a different last name. John has a different last name.
Listen, but there's a Sturdivant at heart.
Oh, of course. He has Sturdivant blood running through him. I mean, he has the legend is his father. Now you get that Johnny on a podcast. That's different.
Oh, I would love it. I'd ask all the questions.
Yo, your female viewers are gonna go up like this. Like, who is that? Boom, pregnant.
Speaking, have you ever watched JOI video? No. Anyway, guys, you're going to want to hang out with us tomorrow night. We are going to be on Popcorn and Pints, and we're going to be talking about the summer of '69 and cock blockers. It's going to be a great time. That starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then afterwards, join us because we'll be playing Phasmophobia as the Phasmo Friends. That's right. Our weekly investigations. You watch us here on the Scene Snobs, over on the Horror with Sir Sturdy podcast, or over on Worst Damn Game Ever podcast. We're going to be all over those channels, and you're going to watch us play because tomorrow we're playing hide and seek with some ghosts at Brownstone High School, and it is going to be wild. That's right.
He's right.
So, go follow Horror Sir Sturdy over at Sturdivision channel. Go follow Worst Damn Gamer Ever. Go follow Popcorn and Pints. say hi to my friend producer Paul here. He's the man. We're going to be back next week with Dave Paterino from Nerdbox, and we're going to be talking some horror. We're going to have a really good time with it, and we'll be reviewing some more movies. So check us out. But we have content every day on the YouTube channel. Make sure to follow for more, subscribe, hang out with us, follow us at the Scene Snobs all over social media, so that way you can be a part of it too. And we, have a good time. I'm always live somewhere.
Yes. I can't wait. I can't wait to get into some Phasmophobia tonight with these gentlemen. If you guys are playing, and I do have a shout out. Go check out my cousin Johnny Loves Movies too. He's dope. Mm-hmm. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He's a Sturdivant you can trust when it comes to movies. I'm a wild card.
There you go.
I can admit it.
That is true. He hates High Noon, but whatever.
Oh, it's terrible.
What's worse, him hating High Noon or me hating Speed?
Hating High Noon, or not hating it. He doesn't have to like it, but saying it's a terrible movie, you're both wrong. So anyway, thank you guys for joining in on the show.
Whoa. How are we wrong, though, if it's opinionated? It's an opinion that it's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Because that's a fact. Saying High Noon is bad because you didn't like it.
It was boring. The story didn't connect. I did not like the story. I didn't think the story was that good. So it's more than me just not liking it. I didn't think the story was good at all. The visuals, awesome for the most part. But that's not making a movie for me.
That's how Westerns are, man. That's how the storylines go.
I can think of a lot of directors you chose tonight just based off visuals. And I want to
I had a good time with those movies, and I enjoyed those movies. So it's not more. It's more than based off visuals.
Every time
with Nolan, I told you about Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker.
Go comatose for me, baby.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Hey, listen, get in the kitchen, lady.
Oh, you better believe that's a pattern.
Yep.
Nope.
We're gonna do some paddling later, but I want to say thank you guys for joining, and thank you to our amazing sponsors over at Schenectady's Gentlemen's Club. No,
I think Mick really has a sponsor from them, and he's playing it off.
That's why he has a haircut. Now he looks like a shady strip club owner. If he was wearing sunglasses, he would look just like a shady strip club owner. All he needs is sunglasses and a button up right now. Boom, and a pen in his ear.
He's the guy Fieri
in his mouth.
I look like a guy named Mark who works at like a.
You got to do that, Mick. A button-up shirt,
out at
a pen in your ear, and some sunglasses. Boom. Strip club owner, shady strip club owner.
Anyway, go check out Shenanigans Gentlemen's Club in Schenectady, New York. Now on Uber Eats. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Even though it's unofficial.
And no, that's not on the menu, guys. When it says all you can eat, it's not.
You got
for a price. You shouldn't eat there, though. You shouldn't eat them. Don't do that.
All right, Paul, you got anything you want to add before we leave?
Let's see the weekly tip from Paul. Read your terms and conditions so you don't complain to employees that have nothing to do with your refunds because you decided not to read your terms and conditions. Please help us out and help yourself out by being an adult when you sign a contract. Also, we're having a heat wave come through, so stay hydrated. It's brutal out there. It's like stupid hot and humid. So be careful. Know what heat stroke looks like. Know the signs of it. Stay hydrated. Look out for each other. Keep enjoying movies.
Yeah. One more time. You got to say it the right way.
I forgot it.
Keep liking and loving the magic of movies.
Boom.
What he said that I should.
I have one more thing. I'm going to say this.
Hear me, but listen.
No. This is a good thing, Mick. Be better than you were yesterday.
That is a good.
No matter how great you were yesterday, be better than you were yesterday. Is all I'm going to say.
Don't get me started because I'm in rant mode of like how the world is turning out right now.
This is about positive.
I want positive. That's all I want. But there's no fucking positive.
We got to put it out there.
Human decency. Work towards human decency.
Put it out there in the atmosphere. We got to put the positivity out there in the atmosphere. That's what I'm trying to do right now, Mick. Be better than you were yesterday.
I do.
I bet Mick would be cheered up if you watched a Nicolas Cage movie with him.
I would. Can I pick it? Gone in 60 seconds. At least has cars.
How about we watch Helen Keller versus the Nightwolves, and we'll all be happy.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you guys for joining in, hanging out with us, having a good old time. We are the Scene Snobs, and we always have fun doing this. We'll be back again next week. Make sure 8 o'clock, set your timers with new reviews, new topics, new top fives, and more. And we're going to have a guest along for the ride. So thank you guys again for joining in, hanging out with us, and take care of yourselves. That's important. It's so important. And be kind to each other. Please be kind to each other. Find human decency and just embrace it. And until next time, everybody.
I love you, and bye, like in sync.
Take care, everybody. Schenectady.